welcome to episode number 37.
That's
really
right.
long prime number, high
I love
prime
the
number. And today's topic is customer success management.
Yeah.
The beep is customer success management.
Tell me about it, man. I have no idea. Just kidding.
Yeah. So in former times at Trusted Shops, my brother-in-law and best friend Berkey,
Yeah.
hi Berkey,
Hi, Berkey.
started to take over the customer operations, the customer service department.
Yeah.
And it was like in most of the businesses, customer service. That means the whole team was waiting for customers asking a question
Yeah.
or just having some problems. So, okay, I want to do blah, 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 here are some problems or whatever. So it was just reactive customer service. And then we found out that we are talking about 25,000 customers, and there's a subscription model and so on.
Yeah.
And that it would be really, really great if they would not just be satisfied, if they would be really successful with our product. And happy and successful. And there was something like a mind shift, and
It's so crazy that it is a mind shift. That
It is
this
a
is
mind shift.
not the normal way we do things.
and in Germany we are from the potential.
Yeah.
We are here because if you start Googling for customer success management, do it. Number one is my blog, or I did my homework already.
I think this podcast will be number one.
I
for
hope
customer
so
success.
because much better than my blog post. But so it's a mind shift. And first of all, it's a mind shift in the company, and it starts always like, do you know this 1-3-7 rule?
Yeah.
Do you know?
You
Maybe
told
you
me.
should explain.
Yeah.
So 1 means it is the effort of factor 1 to just hold the customer.
Make him happy.
Make
so
him
he
just
stays on.
using your product that he turns over the next subscription period. It's the effort of work factor 1. Then comes the 3. That means something like a customer who is maybe not satisfied or has a problem or maybe a little bit more is on the way to go because there is a competitor doing the stuff much better or something. Holding him back from canceling the contract is in comparison to the 1, factor 3. And then in the end, to get a new customer, I would say where the typical growth hacking, growth marketing stuff has to do with, is factor 7.
Do you know the source of this? Or is it Hendrik Lennarz?
No, it's not Hendrik Lennarz.
Do you know where it's from? If you guys know it, let us know in the comments. I was looking for that once and I didn't find it.
And that's something where I always start with. So to tell the people the mind that they have to focus on the existing customers because there is so much potential. In our workshop training business, it's the same. It's so much easier to make a follow-up with a satisfied customer where you had a great training last year, to just have a phone call, okay, what's going on, what's your goal for this year, blah, 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 blah. It's so much easier to find a solution to do another training for the same topic, but for another group of people, or finding another topic than just getting a fresh customer out of your marketing funnel. And so that's really interesting.
That's really a mindset shift.
Yeah.
We just had episode number 36 where we talked about the trap between time and money. Yeah. And we did not mention this as one of the things to do to get out of the time for money trap a little bit. Like that is one of the strategy to grow with your current customer base. Yeah. Instead of just doing more and more and more. We are naturally in the growth area of companies, so we see a company develop very quickly. Yeah, if we can do our job successfully, that means there are so many more challenges coming up. And if we just had 4 to 6 customers, we could be fully booked for a long time. If we were to switch to the customer success mindset. And I think we are both doing that already, but we see most companies not doing it.
True.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for. It's a perfect fit for any subscription businesses. So everybody who has a contract, a yearly contract.
Yeah, for sure.
So for them, because you have to do everything that the contract, that the customer lifetime value is as big as possible.
I have a good example for that.
Sure, please.
Yeah. So there is an app called 7Mind. It's a German meditation app that, if you are from the States, maybe you're more familiar with Headspace. You're on a monthly subscription for the meditation, and the hardest thing for those apps is to actually keep the people active and happy, because only if they meditate, they will continue their subscription. So what we, for example, did, what increased the customer success was, once they did not use the app for a certain period of time, we send them push or email notifications.
What's going on? No meditation anymore?
Can we help you somehow? You're even saying stuff like, you're paying for this, get your investment worth. Imagine fitness studios would do that, the gyms. But none of them do that, because they actually do not want you really to succeed.
They save costs.
They save costs. They overbook the studio. They can book 150% of capacity because they know 50% will never show up. And that is such a cruel mindset, essentially, towards the customer. So what do you think about, like, how could people do that practically in their business?
So that was or two. So the what was the Headspace?
7Mind.
And the 7Mind Headspace is
they are both meditation
the US version. And so that's a good example. And the gym is another really common example. And for me, it's always the question: where's the connection to growth? And I always say, if you have customers already, you can grow out of your customers. And there's always the question: where can you start
with your customers,
or grow with your customers? So where could we start? And I think one thing what is really, really easy, but the most of the people or companies don't see it, is just to figure out why customers are canceling or are quitting the contract. Why? Really why? Not just the typical why. Okay, they went out of business. So when I remember Trusted Shops, for sure, when somebody's canceling the contract, there was always the question like, okay, can you give us a reason? But you have to find out the real reason. What do they do?
For your specific business.
Really hard to get, because maybe you have to talk to them. Most of the time, if you start talking to them, not with, okay, we want you to get on board again, just talking with, okay, what was the problem? Can you give me the details and so on? We want to help, just because to make it better for all other customers, you will get these answers. And then you have the first step, you know exactly what is the reason why they go. And then you can start from there to think, okay, what can we do maybe for one segment of these answers? Just take the most common one and start there and say, okay, what can I do to avoid this problem?
And don't fall into the trap of only caring about your customers once they are about to leave. If you ever had a phone contract, you know what I mean, Once you canceled, you get way better support persons. You get people who call you all the time. You get a better price, and do what you are about to say, like figuring out how to avoid it in the first place.
Avoid it. So, but for avoiding it, you have to know what the problem is. And there's another really, for me, it's growth hacking core. I say it's this typical aha moment. Have we talked about the aha moment? I have no idea. I'm not sure. So the aha moment is something like in this customer journey. So you have your landing page, you have your advertising, you have your landing page, you have maybe something like a free trial, freemium customer, and then you have to do everything that the customer comes across this aha moment, where the first time he feels something like, aha, that's the value of the product. Maybe the
English term is light bulb moment.
The mind space. What was the German thing?
7Mind.
The 7Mind thing would be something like, okay, the seventh meditation in a row, maybe. if you meditate 7 times in a row or 10 or 15,
then you get this feeling of calm.
There is something like a habit. Maybe you feel the first time that there is something going on. So that means for them, their most important thing in the onboarding phase of a customer is not to make an upsell here or whatever.
Yeah.
So to do everything to push the customer across this aha moment of, it's just an example, 7 days of meditation in a row. If you go to the gym, if you go there the first time, there are no muscles, right? If you go there the second time, no muscles. But maybe it starts after the 4th, 5th, 10 times that you're losing a kilo or what,
you're looking like this.
Or whatever it is. So just to give you some examples. So that's something to find out what is the aha moment. When is the first point, the first second in my customer journey when the customer says the first time, that's the value. Not just registering for something and then leaving it where it is, just really using it, just feeling the value. That's really important, and that's something to do. That's my home base with product strategy. That's something I love with teams to find out what the aha moment is.
And there's always like this challenge between, let's say the customer has his first successful experience in your, and you know there are several slots. Let's say it's an app. There are several things to do right afterwards. One could be asking them for a review in the App Store. It's the first highlight moment, and that's the best moment. But it's also the best moment to ask for a referral. It's also the best moment to upsell them. But you can only do one thing. And we could probably come up with the more stuff, but those are the typical ones. And the customer success mindset really goes into just first get them into a good experience for themselves. And only once they are really performing, then start with the advertising and stuff. Did you know that Twitter and Facebook actually shows less ads for new users?
Do you know why?
Because more engagement leads to a longer lifetime.
The figure of them, what is known in the literature, maybe for instance Facebook. So Mark Zuckerberg figured out in the early days of Facebook, so 20 years ago when we registered for Facebook, not logged in.
Is it already 20 years ago? Oh
maybe,
God,
or
no.
15. It feels like...
I hope not.
Second World War. So long time ago.
Maybe
but
8 for
when you registered, he figured out with data analysis that the user segment of, if you have in the first 7 days after registration, more than 10 friends. So today we laugh about 10 friends, right? But in the early days of Facebook, more than 10 friends, and he figured out that this user segment gets more and more engaged with Facebook, more and more logins. So today we say, why? Stupid question, because there is something going on in my newsfeed. If I don't have friends, maybe there is another problem, but if I don't have Facebook friends, it's just boring. There's no FOMO effect. There's no reason to being addicted or getting addicted with Facebook. And that's something he figured out in the early days.
It's so smart.
And then he focused on not showing ads or doing this and this and this. He just said, okay, you need more friends. Here are some suggestions. So you know Ben, probably Ben's friends should be my friends as well. Or importing the Gmail address book. Before the times of the GDPR, and so on. So it was the aha moment of Facebook. There are so many examples for Slack. It was not the number of teammates in Slack or the company size or something. It was just they found out if you are sending in your team 2,000 messages a month, independent if it is a channel message, a DM or whatever, 2,000 messages. It's not possible to take it away. If I would just take it away, you would say, no, it's really worth it to have it because we are sending 2,000 messages. So they have to do everything, maybe just for 2 people or 20 people in the teams, that they are really using it. And
that also works. That works also in B2B. What I do for customer success, sometimes people are afraid to ask your customer, what could you have done better in this project? And I made it a habit to ask this frequently, so it's not a big deal. And one example was like when I wish we would have had like a presentation to show to our colleagues of the progress we made here. Yeah, because it's really hard for me to communicate what you did with us today because it was pretty technical and da da da. But we see the progress. We see the cost per acquisition went down by 20%. Yeah, how did that happen? Can you give us the slides? And then I used that, and for the next client, I just did it. And they were like, whoa, how did you know that we even wanted that? Yeah, because we didn't talk about it before. And you figure out those points where you then suddenly are like, oh, and then they take it to some international conference and show your slides
as example
to the global colleagues. Yeah. And then you don't have to ask like, oh yeah, why do I suddenly have a second, a third buyer from the same company? And just being willing to be open, to be also criticized, really helps me in my customer success efforts. You probably shouldn't overdo it, yeah, so you don't look like you're insecure or anything, but to me it also shows a certain amount of confidence. Yeah. Do you have maybe another example out of your B2B customer success experience?
I have a good example, but one sentence before, I would say there's one big advantage as well, and nobody is tackling this. So today, the customer service department, the people who are working in the customer service department has to handle negative feedbacks.
Negative, yeah.
So they have I would say for me, this job is not possible because you have to do 50 calls a day and 48 of the people are not nice because they have some problems with your product, right?
Yes,
so that's really negative. So we can't avoid negative feedbacks, but if you can change this, maybe from 48 negative a day to 30, it would be much better for them. And how could you do this? If you start being proactive, like this push notification example you mentioned already, just telling the people the value of the product again and again, not too often, but maybe for the meditation app, once a day, or like GrowthArtic or so on, just once a week to get a summary of what you achieved this week, or Google AdWords. It's not that old. Maybe half a year they start sending your reports. Google AdWords your report, and you can see, oh, it's better than last month. That's really great. Oh, it's the same. Or you can we decrease the cost. That's really awesome. It's just a trigger point.
Except when you get 20 per week. It's like,
right? Well, for your customers, maybe.
Yes.
So that's from being reactive and negative to being proactive and more positive. And there I have one example of one of my customers. It's an IT infrastructure, so a hosting company. Yeah, and I was a former CTO, so I was responsible for the Trusted Shops IT stuff. So I'm perfectly in their target group.
Yeah.
And then we figured out that one of the main problems is for having this IT infrastructure company, what is really important for me, because they have to deliver my whole infrastructure. And they're doing 364 days a year, they are doing a great job because everything runs smoothly.
Yeah.
Right? But there are maybe a downtime of 2 hours, maybe a downtime of 4 hours, or maybe 8 downtimes in a year, in the range of a year, of maybe 2 minutes or something. And what happens? There comes all these alerts, ding, 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 downtime. What happens? We call them, we have to contact them. What is the problem? Can we solve it? Why did you do blah, 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 blah? It's always a problem, right? But 364 days, it was good. But nobody cares because I didn't think about them. Because and that's something, we started a project.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Reporting uptime.
And then I said, as a target group, I said, what I would have loved in my former days of a CTO was something like, please, on Friday at 2 p.m., send me an email with my 2 top KPIs, which are in my own variable, in my bonus contract.
Oh.
2 KPIs
Yeah.
I don't care about the details because I'm the CTO.
That's a good
I'm
one.
just looking here because there's my money. Please send me this email on Friday, 2 p.m. Green, performance availability, green. What was the other one? Performance availability and speed.
Yeah.
So response rate, smaller than 1 second, green. Friday, 2 p.m. And then what do? I get it. I'm feeling happy.
Yeah.
I make forward to the CEO. Yeah, because it's my boss. Forwarding to CEO, say, green, have a nice weekend, I'm gone. And then you leave the building because you're doing a perfect job. And if there is a problem, for sure, I mentioned it before, so I recognized it before. That's really real customer success.
Imagine, like, this for me sounds like there is space for employee success. Yeah. Actually. Here.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And that might be a big growth hack. Like how to get those. Yeah. I'm always thinking like the more I do this growth thing and build my own team, I'm treating my team like the product I'm building and the culture and everything. Yeah. And hacking my own growth within the team. Yeah. Not more people, but the quality that's happening there. True. And thank you for that input, like getting the customer mindset also into the employee success mindset. That's a good last word, isn't it? One more. So you are always coming up with the book recommendations. Today it's my turn, but I don't know the name. It's Customer Happiness from the Zappos guy. Yeah. Tony Hsieh. Yeah. It's a really great book. Tony Hsieh. Customer delivering happiness. Yeah. And this one, I recommend it to everyone. I told you I don't remember the title, but this one is really great because it's a story of Zappos, so the clone of Zalando. Just kidding. And you can follow his journey making this company big with always having something like really hard business decisions. And then, maybe I do this for money or doing an exit or something. And in the end, he decided always what is the best for the customer. And that was a good thing. So that's something I recommend. Thank you very much. Really interesting. I like this one. See you guys in number 38. Bye-bye. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.